Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 304 of Optimal Living Advice. My name is Greg Audino. I'm your host of the show, wishing you a happy Monday and hoping today's episode starts your week off on the right foot. We're going to be talking about something pretty unique today, something that is certainly not for the faint of heart, though many might think it is. The asker that submitted this question we'll be looking at is feeling the very enigmatic fear of success. So without further ado, let's hear from him as we dive into this question and start optimizing your life. I'm in the middle of a phase that seems strange and scary, though it probably shouldn't. Lately, things have been going so well, particularly at work, that I'm not sure what to do besides wait for the bubble to burst. I guess it's a fear of success, which I never thought was a real thing until now. Plus, I have to say I feel a little guilty about all of this because of how many people would kill to be in my position. I'm doing all of the things I need to do, and this hasn't affected my job performance, but each day is filled with anxiety about nothing more than all of this crashing down for some reason. Okay, and a big thank you for sending this one in, Asker. Fear of success is definitely a mysterious type of nagging, isn't it? And it can be stressful to deal with. Not only the fear at hand, but the utter confusion as to how that fear can be present in the first place, perhaps accompanied by feelings of embarrassment and isolation. So let's talk a little bit about where this might be coming from, how to hone in on that, and how to manage it. Now, in some cases, fear of success can be something that comes up along the way based on what types of events surround past successes. So if you or maybe those close to you have undergone some success and then immediately had things go south for one reason or another, it's easy to associate success as something that's unattainable without some inevitable fall from grace. But more often than not, we might think about what we've been taught about success since childhood. Were you shamed for doing well in school? Or maybe you received physical punishment from bullies or like an older sibling for excelling in school. Maybe you came from a working-class family with parents who were highly critical of those more financially fortunate. Or maybe it's the opposite, and you came from a wealthy family, yet it was that very wealth that ended up destroying things as work and status became more valuable than the relationships at home. Correlation does not equal causation, but these are ideas to play with as you consider how you've felt about success in the past and what bias you might be bringing to your current success. And as is usually the case, getting an understanding of where this might come from can be a really great step towards getting more comfortable with this fear. As you can show yourself more compassion, the better you're able to track the feeling and where it's coming from. You can also better identify this as a brainwashing of sorts, a trick that your mind is playing on you. So as you think about the origin story of your fear of success, I would pair that with a list of challenges. And they might be something like, what have I learned or gained through my current success that will help me be more resilient and able to bounce back should things fall apart? Is there any logic to the idea of things falling apart in the first place? Is there any validity in the thought of me not finding greater success elsewhere if this current streak ends? If there is a specific breakdown that I'm anticipating, how can I plan for it now so I'll be prepared to handle it even if it does occur? If I've worked hard enough to gain this current success, then who's to say I don't have the work ethic required to either manage the breakdown of this success or rebuild success in a new way? So, with these questions and others you might come up with on your own, should have in common is that they all offer a blend of both positivity and reality. They get you into the rhythm of acknowledging possibility and chipping away at that gut feeling that things are doomed to fail, perhaps irredeemably. This is how the narrative starts to change. And it really starts to change once, after asking these types of questions, you confront this fear by leaning into it with new behavior. So, just as you think about how this fear might have come to be, now think about what your specific fears are and how you can slowly combat them. Maybe a new project at work is coming up, and while you might be worried about offering to take it on fully and the success or recognition that might come with that, instead you lean into it by saying that you'll help the person who does end up headlining it. That's just one example, but the idea is to keep turning towards success in small, manageable ways so that you can move through the fear that might otherwise keep you paralyzed. So in this way, you're gaining power over success by making yourself open to more of it on your own terms, based on where you are in your recovery and what feels like a nice middle ground between nervousness and full-blown confidence. So you're gently pushing yourself in the right direction, rather than hiding away from your success by passing up opportunities to build upon it, or maybe pretending it isn't there, which would only make matters worse and reinforce the idea that you are somehow not bigger than your success. And even though it's this type of exposure therapy that will help you, in times of doubt, don't be afraid to go back to that first step of exploring where this might have come from, assuming that's what helps you show yourself the most compassion, that is. I feel this is particularly important for those suffering from the fear of success because, as we both alluded to, it does seem counterintuitive. It's hard to accept this part of ourselves when it comes off as misplaced and a struggle that you think others would love to have. But the fear of success is real and it is painful. So putting an emphasis on accepting this part of yourself is going to be particularly important. There you have it, Asker. Thank you again for bringing this question to us. And I think that in saying that, I also speak for those who, like you, have felt a bit silenced by this very strange type of fear that not everyone would be so merciful towards. I'm with you on this, and I hope you can trust that others are too. It's time to get going, though, everyone. But before we do, just know that if you have a question of your own that you are struggling with, something that you would like a second opinion on, you can email it to me and have it featured on the show. The email address is advice@oldpodcast.com. You'll definitely hear back, and it would be a privilege to help you out. So don't hesitate. That's going to do it, though, friends. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time, where your optimal life awaits.